In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto.
What is going on, DCA fan? What's up? It's your boy BlockchainCrusader here, and I'm bringing to you some breaking Bitcoin crypto news, guys. So, what's been happening, right? What's been happening with Bitcoin lately has been pretty crazy. And never really expected that we could potentially be having a war over Bitcoin. Yeah, you heard that right. So, you've been hearing, right, the news articles of Russia now pro Bitcoin and Biden coming out saying, wait a minute, Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies are a national security threat and we need to get this regulation on the road. So before we dive into all that, right, let's do a quick market overwatch. I'm going to show you guys a little thing you can do on CoinMarketCap to help you find some good dips in this market. So let's get into that first. Let me share my screen real quick. Give me a second here, guys. And here we are. So, as you're seeing here on my screen, right? Bitcoin up 4% today. Pretty good, not bad, right? Ethereum up 5%, BNB up 7%. But this is not what I want to focus on right now, right? We've had some massive retracements in this market. So what can you do to find some really good dips, right? One thing you can do is you can come over here to filters, add a filter, market cap, right? So I want to stay within the first 100 market cap projects and see what kind of dips they've been having. So I'm going to click over here between 1 billion and 10 billion, and I'm going to add a few extra zeros here, right, to push us into the trillion. Right. I'm going to apply that filter, show results, and boom. Oh, look, it still looks exactly the same. But here's a difference. I have this 30-day percentage over here, and I want to see and rank these by 30% drops. So when I click on it first, I'm going to be showing the 30%, the 30-day gainers, right? Massive gainers for 30 days. But I want to see the 30-day losers. So we got Gala down 59%, guys. Gala Games down 59%. Looking pretty good, not too bad for these last 30 days. We've got Axie Infinity down 52%. We got Loopring down 52%. We got Quant down 47%. Solana down 47%. We've got Theta down 43%. We got Kusama down 42. We got Terra Luna down 42% as well. So this is a good way to find some top tier projects, right, by market cap in the 30 days that have had massive drops in this market correction. 40% for Elrond. Sandbox also down 41%, basically. See what else we got down here. We got Avalanche down 38% at $65 and so forth, so on. So that's the market overwatch, guys. We've had a little pump, right? We've had a little pump on the macro level for Bitcoin coming back up, right? We were supposed to hit that max pain point today of like 42, 43. It has not happened. Doesn't seem like it's going to, but we have had a little mini bounce from the low 33Ks. So where are we now, right? Where are we now with this news? So let's start getting into some news. I got some crazy news besides the Biden and Russia situation. I got some more on-chain analytics and some data showing what whales have been doing, guys. So what's up, everybody in the chat, guys? If you are excited for this Bitcoin market right now, what has been happening, please smash a one in the comments, blow up the chat, share the live with a friend, share it on Twitter, share whatever you got, guys. It would greatly help out the stream, and we would greatly appreciate it. So let's start jumping into some of this news, guys. So let me start sharing my screen again. Let's start off with our good old friend Putin over here, right? Vladimir Putin. What is going on? There was this big thing about, Russia having a blanket ban over Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And out of left field, Putin comes out and says he's going to back Bitcoin mining. He's going to propose taxes for crypto. And he can see Russia having advantages when it comes to this. So let's jump in here. So for a long time, Russia's central bank has toyed with the idea of cracking down on cryptocurrencies, right? The corporation has recently proposed a ban on the purchase, sale, and mining of digital assets such as Bitcoin. The bank released a study of blah, 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 blah. let's get to the good stuff, right? No, where was that? What was it? The global cryptocurrency market see a substantial amount of engagement from Russian citizens. The risk to financial stability connected with as these currently low. However, if citizens become more involved with the Bitcoin market, the hazards will considerably increase. The Russian Ministry of Finance and leading political figures have criticized the bank's hostile approach, claiming that a ban would harm the country's high-tech development. Interesting, right? They're trying to compete in high-tech markets, right? Versus right now in the United States, we're actually not trying to allow a lot of competition happen. So, according to the bank, skip this part over here. Well, active Russian cryptocurrency users transact roughly $5 billion each year, guys. This is huge, right? Because these countries are realizing that their citizens are using crypto regardless of what the stance is in the country, and they are missing out on tax money, right? This is all easily taxable money and revenue that could be happening. So let's see over here. So Dmitry, a national legal firm advisor, told local media that at this moment, the central bank reports looks like a declaration of purpose, and that practices, that's a typo, will indicate what particularly regulatory changes it will result in. I genuinely hope that the market participants will be able to persuade the regulators that cryptocurrencies may also serve governmental objectives. And of course they can, right? It's all, now we're having a little war for Bitcoin hash rate dominance. President Vladimir Putin stated that Russia has competitive advantages. Keyword advantages, right? One thing is they probably have a lot cheaper electricity. Another thing is they don't have to consume as much electricity when it comes to cooling down these Bitcoin mining devices, ASIC miners, because it's cold as shit in Russia, right? Particularly in the sector of crypto mining, citing the country's well-off trained staff and electricity access. There it is, guys, cheap electricity. The Russian president took an open stance towards the industry, requesting that the Russian government and central bank come to some sort of united judgment and report on the achievements that will be achieved. So there you have it, guys. Russia literally came out and said this, right? Russian President Putin said we are going to have some advantages when it comes to Bitcoin mining. And how did the United States instantly respond? Right, that is the big go-to here. The instant response from the United States was in this other article I'm going to share with you guys right now. Is, give me a second here, let me pull it up. Here we are. Biden, crypto rules are a matter of national security. Why? Because if a major country like Russia is getting into the crypto game, right, that is a huge threat. The idea here behind let me stop sharing real quick before we jump into this article. The big idea behind Russia getting into Bitcoin mining is not just because they want to gain more Bitcoin, right? It's because they know it's a threat to the dollar. They know that if they adopt Bitcoin and they start making Bitcoin mainstream, right, in their country, in their finances, it is a way to hurt the United States. It's a way to hurt the federal the world reserve currency, the US dollar. And that being done, that being put into place is a huge red flag for the United States. So now Biden's administration is instantly saying, wait a minute, we can't allow this to happen, or we can't be left behind. It's either we maybe have to adopt this thing and make it our own, right, and take advantage of it before the Russians do, or we're going to get left behind. So let's jump into what is Biden's response here to this situation. So let's see. Okay. Joe Biden's administration wants to introduce a new crypto regulations as a matter of national security, according to a report. Barron says that the White House will soon release executive order that will give federal agencies responsibility for developing new rules that cover cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, and NFTs. A source told the publication. Source. This is designed to look holistically at digital assets and develop a set of policies that give coherency to the government is trying to do in this space. So what does this mean, right? Speculation that Biden was planning these measures has been growing for some time, with Bloomberg releasing similar reports late last week. The publication said that executive order puts the White House at the center of Washington's efforts to deal with cryptocurrencies. Guys, this is good news, right? Depending on the regulations, we are seeing some other news of Arizona coming out, wanting to make Bitcoin legal tender in its state. So they could be ahead of the curve. They could know what's going on in national level. So we could be seeing some very good regulation here that would help institutions publicly even gain more access to Bitcoin, right? Even possibly a Bitcoin ETF, a spot ETF finally being approved. So this is not terrible news. A definitive course of action may not be determined for a while, as each government agency could be given up to 6 months to deliver their proposals on which policies should be introduced. Right, so it is going to take a little bit of time here, guys. So we gotta be patient. It's not going to be like they're going to pass regulation, an executive order tomorrow, and then in 2 days we're going to have Bitcoin up and running inside the nation through all these agencies. So on Thursday, a report by Decrypt suggested that sophisticated plan is being pursued that would hand stablecoins to big banks. Ooh, that's a big threat to the XRP community right there, guys. Sorry to hear that. Stablecoins are coming for the XRP in the banking system. Let me tell you, two big banks. So shunning Tether while embracing regulatory-friendly issuers, I should say, such as Circle and Paxos. The article suggests that Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and Senator Elizabeth Warren, both vocal critics of cryptocurrencies, have been spearheading these efforts. Ugh, these old hags don't even know what they're up against. So here it is, guys. Russia came out pro Bitcoin, and now Biden's saying, "Wait a minute, we gotta react. We gotta do something about this quickly. We cannot be left behind." At the same time, we've already seen some news coming out today. Arizona pro Bitcoin tender. Tenders, right? Legalizing tender in its state. More and more governors that are running for office right now are speaking about Bitcoin, putting Bitcoin at the public face of politics, right? Saying that if you vote for me, if I get elected, I will legalize Bitcoin. I will make this state pro Bitcoin. I would, increase Bitcoin mining, bring more hash power to the state, yada, yada, yada. So, yes, a lot of that could be a lot of BS, right? Politicians will say anything to be hip and trendy, to get on stage and have voters look at them and vote for them. Could they be empty promises? Maybe. But out of all of those, they understand, right, that eventually this Bitcoin thing isn't going away. We're seeing more and more senators and House representatives, politicians in general, whether they're mayors of a city or governors of a state, coming out saying, "Yeah, I hold Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm investing in cryptocurrencies. Yeah, I want to bring this to my state." Right. So it's the United States federal government does not want to be left behind. They need to catch up, and they definitely need to catch up if Russia is getting into the game. But so let's jump into this Arizona news over here. Give me a second here, guys. Let me pull it up. Boom. New Senate bill would make Bitcoin legal tender, guys. Legal tender. So what does this mean? What does this mean, right? Bitcoin is legal tender in El Salvador. So that means you can literally go to any store and they would have to legally accept your Bitcoin as a payment. They could not reject, right? It's just like if you could show up to any store right now with a gigantic sack of pennies and you want to pay with that, they legally have to take it. They cannot reject your 3,000 pennies as payment because pennies are legal tender. Right. So Senator Wendy Rogers, a Republican, has introduced a new Senate bill which will make Bitcoin legal tender across the Grand Canyon state. So the bill defines cryptocurrencies as any means or form of digital currency in which encryption techniques are used to regulate the generation of units of currency and verify the transfer of monies, operating independently of a central bank. Key word, right? Operating independently of a central bank, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. Ooh, Litecoin getting a big spotlight. Even Bitcoin Cash is getting a big spotlight here inside this bill. Cryptocurrency issuer means an issuer of any form of cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin, Litecoin, yada, yada, yada. So this bill, SB 1127, would take effect from and after Saturday, December 31st, if passed. This could obviously, like I said, right, these bills, these regulations, they don't come and they just take effect one day to the next and boom, bam, slam, we have legal tender here and there, right? It takes time. So if it gets passed in the next couple of months, next couple of weeks, whenever it is the voting for this is, then we will see next year, right? Next year, 2023, Arizona having Bitcoin as legal tender. You can literally walk anywhere inside of Arizona and say, hey, I'm paying with Bitcoin, and they're gonna have to accept it. They cannot reject it. So obviously, the reason why it would take some time is it gives the state some time to put in some infrastructure to allow people to start accepting Bitcoin, right? Start pushing the campaign and teaching people, educating them on how to put it. Guys, if you're bullish for Bitcoin right now or for the cryptocurrency market, hit a one in the chat right now, guys. Hit a one in the chat if you think that this is still not bullish, that we are still headed lower, that we are still nowhere near a recovery for the market. Hit a 2 in the chat, guys. Let's blow up that chat. Let's bring some fire energy to this chat right now, guys. Let's read some comments before we continue with some news, because I got some big news over here going on for whales and what they've been doing this whole time, guys. I'm going to be showing you some charts and some good data on whale accumulation. If Bitcoin is legal tender, let's see. If Bitcoin is legal tender in a state, does that remove capital gains? Ooh, interesting question. Interesting question. Would it remove capital gains? Very interesting question. I do not know that right now, right? I do not know the answer to that. I would say that there would still be some level of taxes, right? Some type of like income tax if you're making money off Bitcoin, probably something more like an income tax, maybe not so much of a capital gains tax, but I'm not sure, right? I'm not a CPA, I'm not an expert on taxes, so we would have to keep an eye on this. This is a great question, Chemo and Crypto. Great question. If anybody in the chat knows the answer to this, drop it in the chat right now, right? Would this make capital gains go away for Bitcoin? Drop it in the chat, guys. We got over here Mitasuki, Theta at $2 is intriguing. Very true, right? We had the Italian Jew on here a couple of weeks ago, and he is super bullish on Theta. So Theta being down like 40 something percent looks like a pretty good entry point. Obviously not financial advice, but keep that in the back of your minds, guys. Look up on Coin Market Cap how these coins are dropping the 30 days. Putin could say he likes vegetables, and Biden will shout regulate the veg under national security. That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, at this point right now, between Russia and America, right? It's almost like we're entering a new Cold War. I don't ever think that we're actually going to go into a physical hot war between Russia and United States. Even this whole Ukraine thing that came up, it's a lot of flash, a lot of talk, right? A lot of flexing of muscles, but it's not good business. It would not be good business for two major countries to go to war with each other right now, right? Because it would probably escalate into some type of world war, right? We understand that China backs up Russia, and China produces almost everything for the United States to buy. So it would make no sense. It would not be good business for China. It would not be good business for Russia. It would not be good business for the United States. It'd be good business for big countries to go to war with small countries, because that way things are more under control and there is not a gigantic economical geopolitical situation happening. So I do not foresee Russia and the United States going into a hot war at all. Let's see what other comments we got. Chemo and Crypto. Let's go. Arizona wants Bitcoin to be legal tender. Add Texas and Florida. Let's promote these as much as possible. Yes, I'm 100% with you, right? Texas is also very pro Bitcoin mining. We got governors talking about if they get elected in Texas that they're going to make, even bigger strides for Bitcoin in the state. We got the mayor of Miami trying to make Miami a hub for finance when it comes to Bitcoin mining, and so forth. They're talking about using nuclear energy from the nuclear power plant that we have down here to mine Bitcoin with clean energy. It is crazy, guys. We're having more and more politicians every single day talking about Bitcoin, implementing new steps for Bitcoin to be used in the country, in the states, in the cities. And that is what matters, guys. You need to be aware of these local elections and what it is that they're actually doing. I mean, I was telling Nick, right, that eventually it would be amazing if we could put politicians onto a smart contract, right, where they make an agreement. If you vote for me, then I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to implement whatever for Bitcoin. I'm going to implement whatever for cryptocurrencies. I'm going to do this for the infrastructure of the state, whatever, right? But put all of that into a smart contract. You vote for this smart contract through a DAO of some kind, right? And then so the voting cannot be manipulated. It's all through the blockchain. And then once these officials get put into office because they voted for all the things that the people voted for all the things that they were promising in their smart contract has a clause that if after X a period of time before the next election, if they have not fulfilled, right, 50, 60, 70, 80% of their promises that they promised when they were campaigning, they can now run for re-election or they get booted out of office, right? That would be a great way to keep politicians honest to their word and responsible for what they're promising and not just making empty promises. Smart contracts could definitely change the world. I mean, obviously they would not be for this, right? They would not want to be held accountable for these certain actions and these promises that they make while campaigning. So guys, a lot of people smashing ones, a lot of bullish. Mike +2. I don't know what that. Oh, +2. I guess you're not bullish. Flat 6% tax. That's all they need. I agree. Flat tax. I am all for a flat tax chemo crypto. Harmony at 0.017 appealing for me as well. I haven't looked at Harmony myself just yet, but if you say so, man, keep an eye on all these coins that have been dropping 40, 50, 60%. It's only a matter of time before we have a bounce. So much bullish news is coming out, guys. So let's get back to the news, guys. Let's get back to the news here. Let's go into the first article talking about Bitcoin news for what is happening on chain. So let me see here. Nope. All right, here we are, guys. Here we go. So as you can see, number of Bitcoin addresses in loss reaches almost a 2-year high. Guys, this is huge. Why is this huge? Because if we're reaching a 2-year high of Bitcoin losses, that means that people bought at such higher prices, right? Institutions have bought at higher prices, right? Institutions and massive whales will not be allowing the Bitcoin price to continue going much lower and riding into a deep loss. So let's get into this article. The ongoing Bitcoin price volatility has significantly contributed to record addresses going into losses as the market anticipates a future price rally. Bitcoin addresses in loss metric measures balances of assets transferred into a wallet at an average price higher than the current price. The wallets mostly make up retail investors who account for a significant share of cryptocurrency market. Yes, because we're always late to the game. Retail investors are always late to the game. They chase green candles, they buy Bitcoin at all-time highs, and then they panic sell on the way down. As of January 28, 2022, the number of Bitcoin addresses in loss on a 7-day moving average has attained a 20-month record high of what's this number? 13.7 million. Holy smokes. Data by blockchain data analysis platform Glassnode indicates number of Bitcoin addresses in loss, yada yada yada. Bitcoin continues to make slight recoveries. By press time, the asset had made slight recoveries to trade at 36. We're up about 37 something right now, dropping over 20% on a year-to-date basis. Correction. So let's keep on going over here. Bitcoin will likely rally in the future, maintaining the current correction in near term. Guys, this correction, like it's saying, right, it is a short-term thing. Bitcoin will rally once again. We're literally just talking about Biden. We're talking about Russia. We're talking about Arizona putting Bitcoin on the map, right? Putting crypto on the map. Do you honestly believe we are not going to have a bounce back, a recovery from what is happening? The things have changed. The level of attention on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is astronomical compared to the last cycle. So we're not just going to go enter this long bearish cycle like we did in 2018 all the way through 2020 for 2-something years of just complete silence, radio silence in the market, right? Everybody just bored out of their mind. That's not going to happen. The Bitcoin will continue to stay on front news, right? Politicians will speak more and more about Bitcoin, and more on-chain metrics will be shared. Correction presents buying opportunity. Elsewhere, the current correction also presents a buying opportunity for proponents banking on the asset to grow in the future. However, Michael Buseya, I'm for sure I pronounced that terribly wrong, the general partner of Black Tower Capital, believes that Bitcoin is still in growth mode, regardless of current price movement. Exactly. Everyone's looking at this at a macro level, right? Zoomed out. We're not. If you're zooming in using a microscope to look at Bitcoin, it looks terrible. But if you zoom out, you're gonna figure out where Bitcoin is headed. So here it goes. Bitcoin is still firmly in growth mode. If you look at a logarithmic chart, which obviously is a zoomed out version of Bitcoin, it is still a long-term bull trend. Thank you. Thank you. This is what I've been telling you guys forever. It's still a young asset class. It's only been around 13 years, guys. 13 years, and people are panicking. This is not all too surprisingly volatile. Bitcoin and Ethereum were structurally low and declining over the last year. Say that again. Bitcoin and Ether were structurally low and declining over the last year, said. Volatility is expected since it forms part of the asset's growth path, backed by solid fundamentals acting as a store of value. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Acting as a store of value, right? Very, very important. Yes, Bitcoin has come down. Yes, Ethereum has come down, but things can't go parabolically up forever. That is a problem that people don't understand. People don't understand that things cannot just keep going up. If you look at the logarithmic chart, we are going only up, and we have small little dips, and that's about it. So you need to zoom out for this, guys. You need to zoom out. Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies are a long-term play. They are not a short-term get-rich scheme. You can do that with some of the crazy altcoins, right? Some of the crazy altcoin season momentum, but it is not recommended if you're new to the market to be playing with such high-risk assets. Stick to the top-tier projects. Have a longer-term vision. So Forever Young asking a question here says, what's your favorite cold storage or cold wallet that I could look into to send my profits into? You could use Trezor. You could use Ledger Nano X, right? Ledger Nano S if you want to. Probably use the X. Very simple. Buy it directly from their website. Don't buy it from Amazon. Don't buy it from a third-party seller. Buy it directly from their website. So go directly to Ledger. I believe we have a link in the description of the video for Ledger. So go check that out. Go directly to Ledger's website and buy your Ledger there. That is where you would use your cold storage wallet. So now let's get into the crazy whale accumulation that has been happening with Bitcoin, guys. So let me share this with you. Give me a second. So here it is, guys. Here it is. Let me zoom in a little bit. Long-term holders and whales continue accumulating despite the Bitcoin crash, guys. It's like these articles are being extrapolated from my mind as I sleep and being written. I've been telling you this. I think these people watch the show. I think these article writers literally watch Debate Crypto because we talk about this all the time. So crypto markets experienced the sharpest drops since July of 2021. Yes, we have as much as 52%, while the macro bear scenario is still very much in play. Some critical on-chain indicators are showing long-term investors remain unfazed because if you understand what you're buying, you're not worried about the short term. That is the difference between whales and retail investors. Unfazed by news, and whales continue to accumulate. So Bitcoin's ownership through the dip. The data from Into the Block, shout out to Into the Block, classifies as HODLers all addresses that have been holding an asset for a weighted average time of at least 1 year. So if you've been holding for at least 1 year, then you're considered a long-term holder, right? A HODLer. Growing long-term investors suggest that the belief that an asset will retain or increase its value over time, which is a key characteristic of store of value of assets, right? That's what long-term investors are. Here in this chart, we're seeing this blue line, right? I know it's kind of hard for you to maybe see, but this blue line represents the HODLers. Look at the price action, right? HODLers all the way since 2018 have been growing and growing and growing. It's not parabolic growth, but it is massive growth. Even after these massive dips, look at this massive dip. We've still had about a close to a 45-degree angle growth, and we're sharply starting to take a turn upward with this massive dip right now. So we are still having more and more hodlers holding and growing their portfolios with Bitcoin. In Bitcoin's case, the number of hodlers has grown consistently regardless of price volatility, managing to increase through the recent correction and even through the steep crash experienced in March 2020. Even as the Bitcoin price suffered a prolonged drawdown since November, just in the last 30 days, the number of hodlers increased by 3.2%. Doesn't sound like a big percent number, but that represents a lot of people. The above statement is further reaffirmed when analyzing percentage of unmoved Bitcoin. So here we have, right, this dark blue area is Bitcoin that has not been moved for greater than 5 years. Greater than 5 years, guys. And then obviously over here, this color, this aqua green color is 3 to 5 years. Then we have this more greenish color, 2 to 3 years. We have this yellow green over here, 18 to 24 months. And then we have finally this volume down here at 12 to 18 months, at least a year of holding, right? So we've had massive increases of we even see it down here, right? We even see it down here of the growth in these portfolios. Big wallets in accumulation mode, right? So as it becomes clear that the holders remain unfazed by these price movements, the next question is to be asked: are they accumulating? Okay. Are they? Let's see. The graph above shows the balance of Bitcoin held by hodlers, passive investors that held the asset for more than 1 year. This tracks the accumulation patterns during the different stages of the Bitcoin cycle. So we're seeing here, 2018, we went into this bear market, right? Obviously, a lot of people let go of their Bitcoin assets here, and then as things picked up, we steadily grew with the market, and then we reached a peak, and then we dropped massively, and now we're picking back up. The only difference now is that the price is still going down and it's going back up already. So we are seeing a lot of people accumulating right now. So let's keep going into here. While the majority of the retail buyers got scared during March 2020, these addresses accumulated roughly 1 million Bitcoin until October 2020, back when the rally started. They slowly sold a small portion of their holdings during the early 2021 rally, and they have now started to accumulate again as Bitcoin started to drop in November. In just 30 days, these addresses increased their Bitcoin holdings by 4.5%. As these holders increase their holdings, the accumulation pattern is so evidenced by the growing volume held by addresses with 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin, guys. Massive accumulation by huge whales. So this yellow line here shows the Bitcoin wallets, right, that hold between 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin. And you see right here, we've had a steep incline of accumulation happening. A steep accumulation, 21.98% for wallets with over 100K Bitcoin, guys. So the whales are eating up this momentum, this price action. So if that doesn't tell you it's time to buy, if that doesn't tell you it's time to accumulate, to keep dollar cost averaging, right, swim with the whales. It's that simple, guys. It's not financial advice. It's just plain data that we can look at. So let's see what the comments are saying over here, guys. I see a bullish triangle inside an ascending triangle. I don't do TA, so I can't tell you if that is happening or not. Breakout soon, mark my words, or 30K. I mean, it's one or the other, right? Either we go and break below 30K or hit 30K, which has massive support that was shown back in May and throughout the summer, that we had massive support in accumulation zone at 30K. We had Tesla buying up a lot of Bitcoin around that area, in the 30K something area. So we do have a lot of support from institutions at 30K. I do not believe we're going to go much lower than that. That would be a worst case scenario. So let's show you this one last thing about whales and what they're doing, guys. It's crazy. It's crazy what whales have been doing. So this last article here, let me see, where is it? Here it is, guys. Here it is. Whales buy 60K Bitcoin over the past 2 months, adding 1.7 million Bitcoin in the last 5 years. That is wild, guys. 1.5, not million dollars, 1.7 million coins in the last 5 years. So, as reported by popular on-chain data vendor Sentiment, large Bitcoin holders, widely known as whales in the crypto space, continue to accumulate the flagship cryptocurrency. This time, the company has shared a report about Bitcoin whales who hold a minimum of 100 Bitcoin in their wallets. These are smaller whales, but there might be smaller, but there's a lot more of them. Per another source, these wallets with over 100 Bitcoin in them, holding a mind-blowing 3.9 million Bitcoin, almost 21% of all circulating Bitcoin. That is crazy that they are holding literally 21%, almost 21% of the entire Bitcoin circulating supply in these wallets that have over 100 Bitcoin. So 60K Bitcoin added in the past 2 months, 1.7 million bought since 2017. Let's look into it. Over the past 2 months, as Bitcoin has been sliding down from 57,000 level pretty quickly and hit a low of 33.7 on January 24th, owners of Bitcoin wallets with 100 plus coins have continued to add the leading crypto to their holdings. Since December, they have added approximately 60,000 Bitcoins to their holdings. This is an equivalent of staggering $2.2 billion, guys. This is $2.2 billion. Not 2.2 million, 2.2 billion at the current exchange rate of 36,592. Overall, in the past 5 years since 2017, these same whales, guys, as per the Sentiment report, have acquired a jaw-dropping 1.7 million Bitcoin, including the mentioned 60,000 coins. That amount of 1.7 billion is worth 62.3 billion at press time. Let me repeat that one more time. $62.3 billion, guys. Hashtag Bitcoin. Whale addresses with 100 plus Bitcoin continue their long-term pattern of accumulation during these volatility in the 34 to 38K range in the past 5 years. So yeah, more information here showing you the charts of the accumulation of Bitcoin, right? We are having $100 through $1,000 balance. They have increased total coins by 20 something percent, or 62 percent, representing $144 billion in Bitcoin, in dollars in Bitcoin. So, guys, what have I been talking about this whole entire time? It's like there is no amount of Bitcoin price action that we can drop down to that would persuade these whales from not buying. Why? Because they understand what is at stake. They understand the transfer of wealth that is happening in this generation, right? This is a once in a lifetime, once in maybe multiple generations, when you see a whole new asset class being created in front of your eyes, and there's a massive transfer of wealth. The people that do not adopt Bitcoin, that do not invest into crypto, do not become early investors and wait until this becomes an established thing that the stock market and traditional systems are selling back to you. You're going to be too late, right? You're going to be too late to the game. If you've read the Bitcoin Standard, it talks about this. The people that are at the beginning of the front run, the transfer of wealth from one currency to another, they're the ones that can change their lives. They're the ones that can jump through multiple social class, right? They can go from dirt poor to an elite in the future because of being an early adopter of a new currency that has more value, and they ditch the dying currency, which is in this time the US dollar. Whether you want to believe the US dollar is dying or not, that is up to you, right? Even if we release a digital dollar, that is still the death of the dollar, and now we are recreating the dollar into a new product. The digital dollar is a new product. It is not the same as the regular dollar that we have now. So the death of the dollar is coming. It's only a matter of time. So guys, let me see some energy in the chat right now, guys. Let me see some energy in the chat. If you guys have not hit that subscribe button yet, if you guys have not exit out of the live, smash the likes. I don't know what you guys are doing, guys. I've been bringing you guys straight, great fact information for the last 40 minutes here, guys. I haven't drank a sip of water. I am dying of thirst over here. I want to see some likes. I want to see some subscriptions. I want to see you sharing this live with your friends on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever you are. Share it with somebody. It would be greatly appreciated. And smash that like button, guys. So right now, guys, is anybody here in this chat, right? Any of you guys in this chat right now looking to buy the dip or have been buying the dip? Drop a 1 in the chat right now if you've been trying to buy this dip. If you have, drop what assets you've been buying, right? Drop what assets you've been buying. If you have not been buying this dip, if you think we're going to keep going lower into the 20s, into the $15,000 range for Bitcoin, drop a 2 in the chat right now, guys. If you think we're going to drop massively lower and you're saying, no way, Jose, I am not buying right now. I am going to wait for these lower price action. So let me see what you guys say in the chat, guys. I got something to say about that. For the people that are afraid to dollar cost average, for the people that think, well, we're going to keep dropping lower and lower, so I'm just going to wait till then. Those people always miss out. It's never a good enough time for them to buy, and it's just an excuse, right? When we drop to 20, when we drop to 28, we're going to say, whoa, we dropped to 28. We're going to keep going lower. I'm not buying just yet. Things are very sketchy, right? Same thing happened back in May, and then we had a blast off. Oh, wait, things are way too expensive right now. I'm not going to buy just yet. I'm going to wait for another dip, right? Then we were in the 40s to 50s for a while. Oh, things are too expensive. I'm not going to buy. I'm waiting for a dip. We blasted off to new all-time highs, 69. Oh, man, I'm not buying just yet because things are way too expensive. I'm going to wait for a dip. Now we've dipped back down into the 30s. And I'm sure the same people are still waiting on the sidelines, not buying. John Connor says, too late. I'm all in already. That's what I'm talking about, bro. I'm all in. I'm all in on Bitcoin. I'm all in on cryptocurrencies, right? Cryptocurrencies is my get rich or die trying, right? I've been an average middle class to whatever my entire life. If I lose all my money in this market, right, I will continue being an average middle class citizen. So my life will not change. But if it works out for me the way I believe it will, because of the understanding that I have from what Bitcoin is, what Bitcoin brings to the game, right? What cryptocurrencies are bringing to the world, then it will change my life, not just mine, but my kids, my future generations, right? From me are going to have life-changing money. And it all started with me understanding this one thing, right? But we've seen multiple in history. You've seen multiple families, right? Rothschilds. We've seen many other families that have come to power, that have come to an amount of wealth that is passed down from generation to generation. And it all came from one generation, right? One generation that made bold moves, one generation that made aggressive, smart, intellectual moves that put them into a position that set up every single generation after them. So we got Joel over here. Let me see. What's he say? One been DCAing into Bitcoin, ETH, ADA, Polygon. Nice, dude. Nice. Bought deep, y'all. Thanks. I buy no matter the price for Bitcoin and only buy on retracements. That's what I'm talking about. Chemo on crypto. Hodling to the moon or hell. That's what I'm talking about. Bitcoin is a hill I'm willing to die on. I will never let go of my Bitcoin. I would always try to accumulate more and more. There's only 21 million. You can already see here from these from this data that I shared with you. 21% of it is already being accumulated by massive whales, right? Another huge percentage, I think it's about 5 or 6 million coins, have been lost to time, have been lost in old wallets that used to be miners back in the day, right? In old hardware hard drives. Then we have a whole nother amount of institutions coming in, right? We have a whole nother amount of, no matter how small we are, retail, right, that are buying up a little bit of Bitcoin here and there. The fight for Bitcoin supply is massive. We're seeing nations, El Salvador, we're seeing more South American countries trying to follow suit for adoption of Bitcoin. Russia, United States, mayors of different cities here adopting Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin. There's not enough Bitcoin for everybody. If you can grab one full Bitcoin, if you can grab half a Bitcoin, you are holding onto something massive, 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 massive in the future, guys. You just need to have a long-term vision, right? 2030, 2040, right? Whatever that is for you. Long-term vision. That's why all great investors have made massive amounts of wealth, right? The people that bought Apple back in the 90s, the people that bought Google back in the 90s, right? They didn't get rich overnight. Google stock, Apple stock wasn't as high as they are today in 1 or 2 years. It took 10 years, 11 years, 15 years, 20 years to reach the levels that they are right now. Bitcoin's only been around for 13 years, and it went from practically zero to all the way to $69,000, right? Over $1 trillion market cap. Things that hit $1 trillion market cap don't just disappear, guys. It's not just going to go away. It's not a fad, right? People used to write articles that the internet was just a fad, that people sitting down to watch TV wasn't going to actually work out. People didn't want to do that. Now that's all we do. All we do is be on the internet. All we do is use computers. All we do is watch TV, right? People thought that Uber was never going to succeed. Here we are. Uber is one of the biggest things ever. They're not going away. So all this mentality of, oh, Bitcoin's going down, it's not a good time to buy, I should just buy later. Unless you're a trader, unless you can do TA and you can buy these great lows and get out at these great highs, dollar cost averaging is the only thing you can do that will continuously grow your portfolio, right? Think of it as a 401k. You pay into your 401k bi-weekly every pay period, right? And you put into it, so that by the time you retire at 60, you have over $1 million in your 401k. Bitcoin will get you there. Cryptocurrencies will get you there way before you're 60 years old if you keep dollar cost averaging for the rest of this decade, right? Just think about the rest of this decade. I'm just going to shrink it down. For the rest of this decade, 8 years. We got 8 years to go in this decade. If you dollar cost average, obviously a responsible amount, not the money you need for your bills, for your livelihood, the money you have extra at the end of the day that you can put into crypto and dollar cost average into your portfolio and have it grow for the next 8 years. In the next 8 years, you're going to have life-changing money if you've been buying top-tier projects, not meme coins, right? Meme coins are just going to the casino. You can go to the casino every day for the next 8 years. You are not promised that you're going to make life-changing money. But if you invest wisely and you have patience, you can definitely make life-changing money, guys. So if no one's told you before, I freaking love you guys. I love everybody in the chat right now. I love the energy. I love being out here streaming with you guys. Guys, if you haven't hit that like button just yet, smash the like. Greatly appreciate it. Share the live with your friends, your family. Get somebody you know into crypto. Change their life for the better. Show them the good way, right? Not dark way with all the meme coins and all the get rich quick schemes, right? Let's not do that to our friends. So like I said,